Welcome to the Bobbercast podcast. I am your host, Naomi K. Thank you for listening. Anyone who has a personal relationship with me knows that my favorite pastime is spending quality time with my children. And that's because the way they see the world motivates me. Their view of the world is so innocent and so untainted by fear or failure. And truthfully, some of my most creative ideas are sparked by the time I spend with my kids. And today I want to talk to you about one of those moments. When my kids were smaller, they used to watch the movie called A Bug's Life all the time. It was one of their favorite movies. Now all they watch is Marvel movies, which are their favorite because they're boys and, all the action stuff. But that was one of their most favorite movies when they were kids. They would watch the movie during their downtime between schoolwork and nap time. There are a few parts that I mute and fast forward, but for the most part, they got to enjoy the entire movie. My husband and I are the type of parents who like to preserve our children's innocence as much as we can. So we monitor what we expose them to while they're this small. And of course, as they get older, we'll have the luxury of dialoguing with them about the things that they were too small to fully understand. But for the most part, the violent fights between characters, or when the characters are having like adult emotions in a film, or the scene may be too graphic, even though it's a cartoon, we fast forward those parts because we think children are too small to fully process the emotions in those scenes intelligently. Anyway, regardless of what I was engaged in at the time, my attention seemed to always find its way into this movie whenever it was on. The story is about a colony of small ants who are forced to collect food for a villainous grasshopper by the name of Hopper and his grasshopper gang. Now, Hopper and the gang make it their business to antagonize this little ant colony by bullying the ants and forcing them to do hard labor. The ants are actually forced to spend the entire summer collecting food on this tiny little island for themselves and the grasshoppers before the rainy season comes in. Unfortunately, things go awry when a little character by the name of Flick, who I like to call the dreamer in the movie, accidentally knocks all of the food the ants have collected off a cliff with one of his little inventions. Now, losing the food meant trouble for the ants, since Hopper and his gang of grasshoppers expected to collect all of the food at the end of the summer. Long story short, the grasshoppers show up just before the end of the harvest season or the summer to collect all the food. There isn't any. The grasshoppers then force the ants to spend the remainder of the season collecting any remains of food on the island for them, which should have been left for the ants to survive during the rainy season. Now, at this point, this sounds like a very interesting little movie, right? Well, after watching it for the umpteenth time with my kids, a light came on. The little character in the movie by the name of Flick was considered an absolute nuisance by everyone in the ant colony. No one wanted to work with him because he was always coming up with bright ideas that ended up badly. He was always in the way, always creating failed inventions, and just never seemed to sit still and get out of people's way. Now, when you watch this movie for the first time, Flick might annoy you to the point of wanting to turn the movie off. But if you keep watching until the end, you get to experience this annoying little character save the day. How does little Flick save the day? He never stops dreaming. He never stopped trying to make his dreams become a reality in the movie. What was so remarkable about Flick is that he was the only ant on the island fearless enough to fail, then get back up and give success another try. Whenever one of his inventions didn't work as planned, he didn't count it as a failure. He looked at it as an opportunity to make something even better. Now, how does this relate to real life? Your dreams won't get the opportunity to become reality until you get over the fear of failure. I'm sure almost every adult in the world has heard the old adage, nothing beats a failure but a try. Unfortunately, when some people try, they stop right at the brink of success because they fear failing. And what's ironic is the brink of success is the place where all you have to do is push just a little further and everything in your life could change. And if we're honest, the fear that we experience while going after success isn't all fear of failure. It's fear of people laughing at us if we do fail. We fear hearing, "I told you that would never work." Listen and understand this. Failure is inevitable when we do it our way, but is not unconquerable when we follow the leading and guiding of the Holy Spirit. The problem most of the time is direction. In the book of Habakkuk 2:3, God answers Habakkuk with some words that I think, or I believe, are relevant to pursuing success today. He says to Habakkuk, "Write the vision and make it plain upon the tables. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry." What does that mean? Pray and plan for success. Take out a piece of paper and a pen and write out a plan. Sometimes writing down the plan makes it plain. And if the second problem in pursuing success is finances, the solution may be as simple as learning how to save. Your job is not your dream, so stop looking at it that way. A while ago, I heard a motivational speaker say, "Take a portion of your paycheck and pay into your dream." Your job, your 9 to 5, should finance your purpose. And lastly, if the problem in pursuing success is people, always pray and use discernment about who you allow to walk in your life. Don't allow negative people into your life, and please don't share your plans or the plans for your dreams with dreamless people. They don't want to see anybody doing better than what they're doing because they're afraid to trust God and the process for success. Shut them out of your life. Remember this: if God put the dream inside of you, trust that He's also placed the plans for it inside of you as well. Write them down and get busy. Nothing beats a failure like a hustle. Thank you for listening.